Hello everyone and welcome back to a little bit of a different episode. I'm in creative, which I'm usually not, and I'm in a world which I've just spawned into. And my idea is, well, the idea is that I've not been able to have any ideas for builds for the last couple days. And I've been kind of struggling to think of something to build for the city, so I thought, why not do something which I saw Green do, which was quite a popular thing to do a wee while ago, and it still is, but to transform a village. So this is a really old video of his. I'll put it in the link or something because this is the inspiration for it. I just kind of remembered it and thought that's what I'll do, but newer. And I'm gonna try and find a good village because there's a few. One there and there's one there, and I think there's one somewhere else, but they're kind of on the side of hills, and I'm not a huge fan of those. So yeah, try and find a village which isn't on the side of a cliff like that. So let's do a jump cut and get straight to that. So I think I found a spot I like. It's very close to where you were. It's got this quite nice kind of island in this kind of pond here, which I think I might build something on. And then it's got this village here, so I might possibly cut off that, maybe have a bridge, just kind of going off into nowhere. And then also the train around about is really cool. It's like amplified kind of hills and stuff. We got the nicer if that wasn't there, but you know, fine. So I think this I quite like. I quite like this. So cover that up, cover some of the other wee bits up. A wee bridge, or wee path over to a bridge onto this island to have something on it. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think that's quite a cool terrain generation. I might use the... How big is this actually? Let's have a wee walk about. I think it's too small. I think just about too small. If it was bigger, I might have done... It would be quite cool to have almost the city inside the kind of cave, and then pathway over onto there. I'm not sure about this pumpkin, so I think I might have the farming all pumpkins because that makes sense. Kind of take some of the inspiration from the village. So I think I am gonna slightly change it quite a bit. Slightly change it quite a bit makes a lot of sense, but me. So we got two of them. Maybe have quite a big armor smith here. Is this? I never remember if this is. No, this is just a house. Yeah, I think this is the village to go for. So maybe some fishing. Maybe that could be a fishing island, possibly. I'm kind of thinking, for some reason, like a massive pumpkin patch. I don't know why, but that's what I'm thinking. So I think the only, I think that I know there's a Fletcher here, so some arrows and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna add any other um jobs than what's already here. So more armorers. So there's loads of armor. So definitely some big armory in this island would be, in this village would be good. Maybe that what the island could be. Not sure. I'm still thinking. I'm putting my brain cell, well, my two brain cells together, and I'm gonna try and come up with something. So maybe this island could be a somewhat of a fortress for the really good armor that they make, possibly, possibly. And then a bunch of pumpkin patches around about the place. A wee fishing dock. I know the fisherman isn't here, but I think it makes sense to have at least two sources of food in a village. And there's loads of water about, so it just kind of makes sense. And then the rest are all houses, I think. Oh, there's... is this toolsmith? I think so, yeah. So we got that as well. So we got definitely loads of smiths. That's what I could do. I could keep this and have a, mining in here. Have a huge mine all surrounding outside of this. And then that's really good iron down there, and they turn it into tools and weapons and armor. I don't think there's weapons, but I can add that in. What's... Oh, this is map. That makes sense as well. Gonna add a map in. I'm a photographer. The island might be a kind of fortress with loads of smiths. I think I've got a rough idea in my head, so I think I'm gonna clean out all the trees, clean out everything, put down some wool, and I'll see you when I've done that. And we have got everything nice and cleared, so we can see the entire kind of village area and possibly quarter. It's quite small, so I might have to make this a bit wider, and then I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with that, so I've left that as is. But we can see that maybe this would be the fishing dock, considering there's kind of a dock there, even though there's not a fisherman here. I don't... Do tigers spawn with fishermen? I don't know, actually. I've never seen one. I don't think. So yeah, we got a few little houses dotted about the place. So I think let's start off with um one of them. I might move it as well. It might be moved. Where should we have? What one should we start with? The Fletcher? I think let's start with the Fletcher and the kind of square. So let's keep the square in the same spot, but they might get moved slightly. Like, I'll try not move these ones. I mean, they're gonna have to get moved because I can't have them all over the place. I have them in one, massive armor somewhere. But yeah, I'll try and keep these ones in the same spot. So let's get straight into that. So I've cleared out this area and I've put down some little markers. So the blue is going to be where houses were. They might move. The houses are probably going to move around about the place, but everything else probably stayed the same, other than the armorers, because there's so many of them. So we've got the center here, so that's going to be the wool, so it's going to be a bit of a market or something like that. And then we've got the Fletcher here, which is the brown. So I'm trying to think of what kind of shape I want. So something kind of like this is my initial thought, I think. It might change. Half tempted to put like a wall or kind of part of the house coming out to here. I don't know. Let's get the main part of the house built first. So I think I've got the first house pretty much built. There's a wee bit of detail I want to do still, but the first one's always going to be most difficult because it's kind of setting the scale and the block palette and everything like that. So stuff like that is obviously not very Mojangy, moss and the walls and all these other stuff they probably wouldn't do, but I've tried to keep it relatively basic, quite, Mojangy as much as I can. So obviously I don't think they do that roof. That was, when I started building that, I was like, this is not going to work, but it actually, I'm happy with it now. It kind of looks like a cobbled roof, if you know what I mean, something kind of very old and rustic, and it fits in with the kind of taiga biome quite nicely. And then the yellow and white is because the plains biome, they have that color palette on it, the Fletcher. So yeah, we've got the little overhang, the kind of fenced in bit at the back, so you can shoot your bow and arrow. Then inside is, yep, highly detailed inside. So yeah, they're just going to add a wee bit more detail in a few wee spots, but yeah, for the most part it's pretty much done, and very similar kind of palette will be used across the entire village. And so I guess we can move straight on to the next one, which I think will be, I guess, the cartographer. That makes sense. So let's get that done. And the cartographer is finished. I was not liking it at first, and then I added this, and it's fine now. Weird. I don't know. Sometimes the builds just don't look good until you add that one little thing, and you think, okay, it's much better. I forgot to detail that. So we'll get that done. But yeah, it's just kind of very similar to that. And if you're wondering, I feel like I've seen you build this before. I have. I've kind of just copied from one of my other builds, but that's something a lot of builders do. I wouldn't really call myself a builder, but that's what they do. Highly detailed on the interior. But yeah, I just kind of got this. I was thinking it's just kind of missing something. It looks a wee bit kind of heavy on the left side there, so I thought I'll add this little bit here, and it makes sense because this is gonna be the market. So why not have a kind of market attached to the side of your house rather than having to pay money to buy an actual market stall in the market? I feel like that makes sense. So yeah, we got the two build so far. The next thing would be the mine. I think that's gonna be the next thing to build. So let's also, I think, take down all these houses, put a little blue dot where they are. And with that, we've got the mine, or kind of quarry, I guess it's more of, actually finished. So it's not the most detailed thing in the world, because it's, well, it's just kind of a facade, I guess. It's just meant to look like a mine. I've not done loads of tunnels or any of that stuff. So we got some little kind of ores dotted about the place. Another wee kind of just kind of shack type thing, just to kind of cover something which maybe they don't want to get wet or something, like torches or something like that. And then we got some more bits and bobs all over the place. And then we've just got this really simple kind of just pathways and just pretty, detailed very simply. Just kind of meant to look a bit higgledy-piggledy and a bit kind of all over the place. Because, well, it's a mine. It's not meant to be perfect. But we've just got, a little waterfall there. Kind of another wee kind of green bit there. Some just leaves and bits and bobs. And then a wee mine there. And then this as well. So I tried to get like a bit of kind of every cave biome. So I tried to get a bit of the lush cave and a normal, and then a bit of the dripstone, just to try and get everything in there. I think next let's get some actually normal houses. So I think I'm going to build maybe 3 different ones and kind of just dot them about. So I'll just build 3 different ones. So I'll try and base it off of what's here. So we've got kind of a tall one here. Then we've got that kind of normal one. I don't think we've got a different one, so I'll add in a one which is kind of semi-different. I might actually do it where the fisherman is a house, but it's got a little pier on it. So I might have that as like two fisherman ones. That might make sense. So because there is only 2 houses, so I can add another profession, and it's also, I mean, these are all houses as well. But yeah, so let's get 2 houses done. These are just gonna be really simple, just standard houses, just probably at least 2 times bigger than this, probably more. So let's get that done. So we've gotten 2 built, and also did a wee water tower, which I'm iffy about. I'm not sure. I think it might need to change slightly. I'm not sure what I've done wrong, but this is like the first. This is the thing which you don't see when people build, is the kind of work in progress you do. So what I do is quite strange. Is I kind of build the build and then tear it down and then rebuild it and then rebuild it. So that's like the first iteration. Something's just not quite right. I don't like this bit. I think the rest is okay. So I'll change it. I'll probably change it. Or it'll kind of grow me and I'll be like, oh no, that is okay. I think it's here. I think here's the problem. So I need to change it a wee bit. So like, same thing with here is like, I kind of designed this one halfway done, and then I move on to something else, and I've got all these to build, and they'll probably shift places if that's probably too close. It'll probably look wrong. But yeah, I've got these kind of little ones built, and I'll probably change these even. These might kind of change slightly. I might add, a little kind of market onto one of the sides or something like that. But I've got these to a point where I'm going to basically paste these around, and then the forge, I think I'm going to do on here. So we're pretty much done. We've got 3 more builds to do, actually 4 including the bridge. So yeah, we're very close. We've got a fisherman's hut to do there. We've got to clean up this, make the river open again, and then we've got to make a wee farmer's hut, which is just going to be basically this without the tower. So just a really simple house. And then the bridge over, and then all the paths, I need to design that. So the path would probably come, maybe winding round actually like that. Wee bridge over here, well quite a big bridge. It's going to be on a diagonal as well. Yeah, it's going to end up being on a diagonal. That's not going to be fun. Unless I can kind of cheat it and have the path come from here, go over, so I don't do a diagonal. Yeah, maybe do that. Build the forge. I'm still unsure about. That'll be pretty much it. So yeah, we've got this pretty large village. Would be done. I've also added a wee bit more kind of vegetation into here because over here looked a wee bit empty. We got another wee kind of little pond. So yeah, we've got most of this done. We just need to do the detail. So obviously that's just a plain building, whereas that one's detailed. You know what I mean? So yeah, we've just got a wee bit to do, and I guess let's get everything done other than the forge. So let's get all that done now. And quite a big jump, but it's finished. I thought there's a lot of stuff left, which is just kind of details and bits and bobs, which was just not worth putting into an actual. Like I did a lot, but there's nothing which I could really put into a time lapse. So I've kind of just done a massive jump cut and gotten the factory finished, or the forge finished with all its little details and tents and just kind of little ironworks and cranes and bits and bobs. And then nice wee bridge, little pumpkin patch. Mine is here. Got the nice little fisherman and oops, that's my litematica. Highly detailed. Just a nice little simple fisherman hut. And then we have these two which you've already seen. The market here, another wee house, another big house, and then finally this house here. So, and then also the little farmer hut, kind of just slightly out of the way. So yeah, the other pumpkin patches, just basic trees around about, and yeah, we've got this entire village transformed, and then the water tower. But this video did take 3 weeks to make, so if you consider leaving a like and subscribing, that would be greatly appreciated. And that is the end of the video, so thank you all for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as I already said, and I'll see you later. Goodbye.